about the outcome of the 2016 election.
Again, it's not the fucking same. There isn't a deliberate attempt by those in positions of power to try to undermine the outcome of the election. Why is this so hard to fucking comprehend? People saying, I am questioning these results is entirely different than a deliberate effort pushed by actual people in positions of power that hold the levers of power to fucking undermine the integrity of the elections and literally do everything they can to steal it. Hillary Clinton conceded to Donald Trump the next day. Clinton conceded the next day. This notion that Hillary Clinton did not concede and tried to fucking literally steal the election over for the past 4 years is so psychotic that of course Republicans are advocating for it. But the funniest part about this argument is that you recognize that it's bad, okay? When you say, well, Clinton didn't concede when you're lying, but let's say you truly believe that Clinton never conceded. Even if Clinton had never conceded, then you're basically saying that's a bad thing that she did, so we're going to do it too, implying that you understand what you're doing in trying to steal the election is a bad thing, and yet you don't care and you're going to do it regardless. That's why the by your logic shit doesn't fucking matter, and it doesn't fucking work as a decent counter argument, and it blows my fucking mind because your mom owned you in the marketplace of ideas with the classic example of if your friends are jumping off of a bridge, would you do it too? That is the fucking effective counter to that, or two wrongs don't make a right. Like, these are things that you were supposed to learn when you were fucking 12 years old, okay? It's so weird. It's so weird. Clinton did it too. It's like, no, she didn't. But even if she did, why is this fucking acceptable then? You are recognizing that it's bad.
Oh, it was NBC, ABC News, CNN.
Again, reporting on potential hacking, reporting on like efforts to undermine the American election that ultimately were failures or ultimately played a smaller role in the grand scheme of things than like Hillary Clinton's own personal failures is not the same as like if Hillary Clinton had not conceded and then refused to concede and then tried to fucking bring together electors and literally fucking create like Democratic electors that were like, yeah, we're going to have our own fucking separate election when she was the fucking president. That's entirely different. She was never the president. She never had any sort of fucking institutional power to do such a thing. And she didn't fucking do that as the incumbent because she wasn't the incumbent. Okay? But even if she was the incumbent, she would not have done what Donald Trump has done. Holy shit. It's fucking insane.
CBS News, PBS, MSNBC, The Washington Post, The New York Times, and all of the other...
Again, the position I have on this is that they grossly exaggerated the Russian influence on the elections in an effort to defend Hillary Clinton. The media absolutely did this. There was at least enough evidence to question how much influence like foreign actors had in our election, on our electoral processes. It was also definitely reasonable to have some sort of fucking investigation when Donald Trump literally said, Russia, hack my opponent, and then they fucking did. Like, come on. Don't be delusional. Covering that is understandable and normal, okay? That is entirely different than, like, for example, what Rachel Maddow did, which was ridiculous, and I fucking made fun of it all the goddamn time. But that is, again, but even then, that's entirely different than Donald Trump, who is the incumbent, personally trying to fucking undermine the results of the election over and over again, getting owned into oblivion, and then having the right-wing media apparatus constantly fucking defend these initiatives as though they have any sort of legitimacy whatsoever, and lying to 70+ million American people who legitimately fucking believe that this election was stolen now.
Other mainstream media outlets.
Could it be, Hassan, you are actually underrating Russia's meddling? No, I'm not. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yet how many of their videos did YouTube take down for the lies they told about Russian meddling in the 2016 election? 0. But let's trust these same outlets to definitely tell us the truth about what happened in this election. right? With this, we need to start saying goodbye to YouTube since they said goodbye to us a long time ago. Join us over at libertyhangout.tv to watch Caitlin Bennett Uncensored, where I can
Okay, I cannot help but feel like she's making it seem like she legitimately is like selling nudes on there. I wish she was. Again, that would literally be better overall for the what the
Caitlin Bennett can suck a fat one buoy I poke champ. Peepo kiss.
No, I got a wine delivery apparently. And I was freaking out at first. I'm like, who the fuck sent this to me? But it was my account manager at Twitch.
Comrade.
It's terrifying, but oh no, it's not even wine. It's just Macallan 12. Oh, nice. Oh, it's my favorite. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. I was like, I'm not a big wine drinker. But it's Macallan 12 Sherry Oak Cask. Matured exclusively in hand-picked sherry seasoned oak cask from Jerez, Spain for richness and complexity. Rich spice, dried fruits.
Oh my god, the graduates got him.
Why are you guys saying F? Oh, the chat was late. Chat was delayed. Drink some now? I'm not going to drink some now.
Gonna be having eye surgery tomorrow. Glad I found you so
It's
you
Macallan.
can keep me a bit distracted.
It's Macallan
before and
12.
after.
It's fucking Scotch. My favorite. Is that good? Hey, I love drinking Scotch. It's my fucking favorite right there. Big fan of the Scotch. Macallan 12 is so good. Yeah, I'm a fan. Oh, I love drinking a wee bit of Macallan 12. Show us the wine? No, it's not wine. It's just Macallan 12. Why not drink now? Because it's 4 p.m. and I haven't eaten yet today, so I will fucking get hammered, and I don't want to get hammered.
Really tell you all of my thoughts about the election, about the lockdowns, and about any number of topics that social media doesn't let me express an opinion about. You can also...
it's fucking ad time too! Top of the hour, every hour. We have a little wee bit of ad break right there. It's time for a fucking ad. Alright then, all you need to do is subscribe if you no longer want to see the fucking ads. For an ad-free broadcasting experience, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 a month. Or you can do it for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch fucking Prime account. Here it is. Laddie.
So directly support my work at patreon.com/Caitlin Bennett to gain access to my private Facebook group and help me keep covering events and keep bringing security with me every time I film. It is so crucial to be out there supporting President Trump, but I can't do it without your support. And make sure you follow Liberty Hangout over on Rumble and follow me on Parler at KateMarieOX. The country as we know it no longer exists.
Dude, what the fuck, dude? I mean, at least she's right on that. It no longer exists because Trump is no longer the president. So if that's the country as you know it, and that's the only way you know the country, then yeah, you're correct. What the fuck is Rumble? I can't keep up with these garbage right-wing apps. It's I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm in Russia, and my take is that I agree we Russians probably meddled in your election, but Americans as well as other nations have done the same. Like instating a monarch in Iran isn't technically meddling. You meddling? Looks like Shabibo in that freeze frame.
It's up to us to come up with ways to keep living freely and not let the communists win.
Okay, I'm glad we can trust Google to be the arbiter of truth. You really took your mask off tonight, only appealing to corporations when it's politically convenient. I'm not appealing to corporations when it's politically convenient, jackass. I get fucking clapped up by these corporations all the goddamn time. Probably more than fucking Caitlyn Boo Boo Bennett does. The difference there, of course, is that while I understand that corporations often look for a neat neoliberal bubble of ideas that they fucking allow to exist on their platforms, there is such a thing as people who are deliberately and purposely spreading misinformation. Okay, I'm not a fucking liberal, so no, I don't have this like weird ideological notion that like all speech is beautiful and wonderful and we should have all speech exist and coexist when there are so many stupid fucking people like yourself who believe this psychotic bullshit. Anyway, can Trump still steal the election? No. Trump could not steal the election a while ago. It's not like new either. Anyway, this is what I was going to show you. So Kelly Loeffler posed with a photo with Chester Doles, okay? It was a former KKK leader who runs the white supremacist American Patriots USA. In 1993, Doles nearly beat a black man to death. In 2017, he marched in Charlottesville. This is who Kelly Loeffler is proudly appealing to. So they are, people are obviously understandably upset about this. And I personally think that this is deliberate. What do I mean by that? Well, the reason why I believe it's deliberate is because Kelly Loeffler is desperately trying to appeal to the Trump side of the party when she herself is not like exactly a Trump-style right-wing populist. She is an out-of-touch millionaire's wife or a billionaire's wife who is herself a multimillionaire and, is like a financial institution Karen. So very clearly she tries to make it seem like she is, salt of the earth. That's why she wears that fucking ugly-ass hat with the American flag patch on it. That's why she wears that vest and like a denim shirt and stuff like that. It's all very clearly an attempt to make it seem like she's, one with the Georgians because she thinks that that's precisely how Georgians operate. And she is kind of true. So this is on purpose. This is throwing up the racism dial a little bit. Is she like literally a fucking KKK advocate? No, of course not. Obviously not. She's just regular racist. She's just regular white lady racist who's like rich as fuck. So the reason why she is accidentally in a photo with a KKK leader is literally to fucking signal to the Georgians that she's with it. Okay, that's it. Now, this is not a conversation about like whether, deliberately and purposely catering to fucking racists is functionally being a racist. Of course it is. But it doesn't really matter. She's absolutely trying to do this to appeal to Georgians. Just remember that. Why'd she post it though? Like, what was her reasoning? I just told you what it is. I told you what it is. I literally just told you what it is.
Stop. Parlor time.
Her campaign is claiming she didn't know it was a white supremacist. Yeah, they fucking knew. Of course they fucking knew. Are you kidding me? No, they did it on purpose. Don't be a fucking sucker. They knew. They just wanted it to be out in the fucking... They wanted to be out in the news that she's posing with a white supremacist, guys. Don't be dumb. She's trying to fucking win over Georgia voters. This entire fucking Georgia battle literally revolves around black and white, like racial lines, okay? That's it. What, you think it's an accident that they keep fucking promoting Reverend Wright, for example, and making it seem like Reverend Wright and Raphael Warnock are the same person? Okay. No, they're doing it on purpose. Because like Raphael Warnock has said things that they consider to be radical, but Reverend Wright has said things that are famously even more radical than that. So they're literally playing the fucking black pastors, they're all the same, am I right? Type beat on purpose. The real thing that you should be getting upset over is
Hassle.
the thing you should be getting even more upset over is the fact that this is so successful as a strategy. Like, that's what's really fucking frustrating, is that, like, this is literally a fucking strategy that you can utilize when you are when you're fucking advocating for when you're trying to win an election. It's fucked up.
You've really inspired
Anyway,
me to work out recently.
what the
Thank
fuck
you
just
for
happened?
entertaining me
Like,
with your
I literally
side
just went from
streams,
28,000 to 14,000. What is happening with Twitch fucking view counts, dude? What's going on, Twitch? Can you fucking fix it, dude? Can you fix your fucking platform? Holy shit. All the 14K PhD students left. Oh shit, you're a Scotch guy? Yeah. You did say half your viewers have PhDs? Yeah, exactly. You just lost a radical PhD. All the radical doctors left. It'd be like that sometimes. What are you going to do?
Much love, brother.
I made a meme for your mom. Yo, Hassan. Yo, Fact Hassan has been the reason I started working out again. I'm 6'4" like you, and I will have your shoulder someday. Good luck, brother. Your uncle's money didn't come in? Yeah, the bots are fucking not working anymore. Anyway, Ubu Bennett. Trump fans in Hong Kong worry about their future under Biden.
Hong Kong, the people of Hong Kong, ensuring the autonomy of Hong Kong.
President Donald Trump made China and Hong Kong a focus of his foreign policy
It's
agenda,
hilarious.
drawing praise and support from Hong Kong's protesters.
其實唔單止係我啦，其實好多香港人咧，其實都係因為特朗普嗰個嘅對華嘅政策嘅強硬咧。
But is this just a marriage of convenience, or does the pro-democracy movement in the city have other things in common with the Trump administration?
Do you support Trump?
We would realize and also recognize how the existing administration really put pressure on China compared to the previous administration.
All I gotta say to Joe Biden is, "Pork guy!" Yeah, whatever, dude. I know Cantonese. Whatever, bro. I finished Sleeping Dogs. You know what I'm saying? I am deeply tapped in to the politics of Hong Kong gangs. You understand me? Yeah, not the flex, but I did play a video game one time that was featured in Hong Kong. Yeah, whatever, dude. It's people call me the expert. Fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. This is why you come here, for this kind of commentary. Expertise, if you will.
It's tough times here in the streets of Hong Kong for the city's pro-democracy movement. Activists have been jailed. A sweeping national security law is stifling dissent, and the city's pro-democracy lawmakers have resigned on.
Kind of odd that the people in Hong Kong that are fighting against an authoritarian government are also pro-Trump, who has literally done exactly what the CCP has done to them in America to Black Lives Matter protesters. I find that to be very strange. It's kind of odd that you would be a fan of Donald Trump. I really do find that strange.
Mass to protest Beijing's interference.
Together we stand. Together we stand.
And now, Hong Kong's pro-democracy crowd are mourning the loss of someone they saw as a powerful ally in their fight, Donald Trump. The United States, and Trump specifically, was a common icon in the early days of the pro-democracy movement last year, as some protesters waved American flags and asked Trump to save Hong Kong. He was a world leader they saw as strong against China's ambitions in Hong Kong. And that's why some are mourning Trump's loss in the US presidential race.
But imagine thinking Donald Trump is pro-democracy anywhere on the planet. Dude, I mean, you are so delusional. Congratulations, you played yourself, sir. Good job. Good job. You did this to yourself.
while others are pushing the kinds of conspiracy theories favored by the US president and his supporters back home. How is Trump, a man accused of subverting democracy in the United States, the favored world leader of Hong Kong's pro-democracy activists? Martin Lau is a pastor and a district councillor for Sundang in Hong Kong's New Territories. He ran on a pro-democracy ticket and is a vocal fan of outgoing US President Trump.
It's always the fucking Western influence that ruins Eastern countries, by the way, low key. Like the psychotic ultra-right fucking Christian movement in Korea, or whatever is going on here, I guess, that is like pro-Donald Trump in Hong Kong. And also imperialism on top, colonialism on top of that. I'm not saying that, like, you know, Eastern nations don't have their own fucking freaks, don't have their own homebred homebrew freaks. Of course they do. Of course. Don't be crazy. But it's like it takes an additional level of psychotic nonsense when you're directly influenced by like Western, not Western attitudes, but like Western involvement, whether it be like foreign imperialism, colonialism, or literally just like Christian missionary work. Nuts. I hate Trump, but the way you speak makes me feel like you're supporting what China is doing. No, I don't support what China is doing. I don't support any fucking state that beats the shit out of protesters, okay? Like, that's not a thing you can do, all right? I also personally understand why Hong Kong finds itself stuck between a rock and a hard place. On the one hand, you have gross exploitative Western capitalism and how that's decimated fucking Hong Kong and has exacerbated income inequality in Hong Kong, where some people are literally living in fucking tiny boxes. But then also on the other hand, you have potential Chinese economic involvement that comes at a very heavy price. A price that will destroy your cultural liberalism, a price that will dictate that you no longer have freedom of press and freedom of information, and that shit is fucking awful. Clearly, you're going to be frustrated with that. So I get it. I understand where some people, at the very least in Hong Kong, are trying to push back against that. I understand why they would push back against it. I'm not one of those people who's like, don't you have a professional graphic when you're covering China? Might want to pull it out so people know where you stand. Yeah, China bad, guys. China man bad. CCP bad, guys. CCP bad. It's time to restrict Western markets to countries who suppress human rights. What? The fuck do you mean? What is the Western markets going to suppress their own fucking goddamn markets themselves too? What are we talking about? That's just impossible. No international collaboration then. Like, that's what you're saying. What country doesn't fucking suppress human rights? America suppresses human rights, bro. The Trump administration literally just executed someone, okay, for a crime that they were involved in but didn't personally commit when they were 18, like fucking 20 years ago. And the Trump administration executed that person like before they get out of power.
Rap Jam.
所謂建制其實即係親中即係親中支持政府嘅。嗱，我估香港嘅政治生態環境就係其實主要即係得個議題啫。
It's like the reason why Vietnamese people love Donald Trump too. It's just like being against Xi Jinping. Trump is functionally against Xi, and therefore every single person that also hates Chinese overreach in the region is literally going to be pro fucking Donald Trump, because he openly says, like, I'm going to fight back against China. I'm going to do whatever I can. It doesn't matter if he actually ends up succeeding in his fight against China, but the fact that he's able to communicate the grievances that some of these people have, or not even communicate the grievances, but the fact that he's just saying, like, fuck China is enough for a lot of these people who also have that same position. Vietnamese don't love Trump. What the fuck? A lot of fucking Vietnamese Americans do. And also a lot of Vietnamese people like Donald Trump for the reason that I just mentioned. What do you mean Vietnamese don't love Trump? What the fuck?
即係嘅立場即係民主，即係民主，我哋咪係爭取自治啦。我哋想有普選，我哋希望
older Vietnamese Americans, of course.
香港嘅事務，我由翻能夠香港人去管理，而唔係由大陸去干預咯。咁當然到今年咧，就其實都見到，即係特朗普佢施政有四年啦嚇。咁姑勿論，即係你欣賞也好，或者批評也好，咁你見到佢一定嘅成果啊。咁我坦白講，如果我當然我係香港人啦，我冇權去投票啦嚇。咁但係如果我真係有票，即係我係美國嘅選民咧，其實2016年我都會投特朗普。
Martin Lau's political
Good thing you're not then, bitch. What do you mean? Fuck this guy,
Political
dude.
views are conservative by anyone's standards. He doesn't support same-sex marriage, detests political correctness, and shares much of the same politics as the US Republican Party. He admits this puts him at odds with many of his activist peers, but in today's Hong Kong, he says agreeing on China is enough to call someone an ally.
Fucking Falun Gong Andy over here. Oh my god. Hong Kong Ben Shabino. Exactly. Come on, bro. Defend him, bro. Come on. People in Vietnam have one of the most positive views of the U.S. in any country. I know. I was shocked to find out. When we found out on stream together that the country of Vietnam is the country that views the United States the most favorable in the entire fucking planet. More than Israel.
Yard.
It was a shocking revelation.
你其實你對於某啲議題，例如係
I wonder if he's also an anti-masker. Like, I wonder if that kind of, if he's at like that level of brain rot, you know what I mean? I always wonder, like, because at some point, wait, what the fuck? Why? Dude, I don't know. I don't fucking know. But yeah, it's the truth. I think it's part of the reason is literally its opposition against China as a world power. And maybe part of the reason is because I don't fucking know, what's the thing that like kidnappers benefit from? It's like when they kidnap someone, and I forget the term, the psychological term. Stockholm syndrome. Yes, Stockholm syndrome. For decades, Hong Kongers looked down on the mainland for being poor, illiterate, and second class. Now that the mainland is starting to flex, they're scared of being treated the same. I think it's a little bit. I mean, Crane, look, you're probably a little bit more knowledgeable on this and have personal information on this that I don't have, that I'm not privy to. But it's partially that. But I think it's a reasonable fear to have that that mainland China's influence over Hong Kong is going to end up changing the cultural attitudes that people in Hong Kong have, the cultural attitudes that they have developed through colonialization, for sure. Colonial expansion is the reason why Hong Kong has a different position in the world, but also at the same time, like, it's not great to fucking get hit with freedom of speech restrictions all of a sudden that you didn't previously have to deal with. Like, tankies in? No, these people aren't fucking tankies, dipshit. These are Chinese people in my chat. Like, holy fuck. Chill the fuck out, dude. Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my god, everything is tanky. I'm a white Westerner. Every time someone says something like normalizing China, a normal fucking country that's also desperate for hegemonic power, that must mean that they're fucking tankies. It's like, no, they're not. The first person Korean is literally a fucking DGG simp for the longest time. I don't know if he still is. I think he got banned for defending me one time, but like, you're calling everybody a fucking tanky. I mean, you guys call me a tanky too, even though I criticize China all the fucking time. What do you mean restrictions? They're literally being arrested and killed for speaking out against Chinese government? Okay. That's precisely what I'm talking about. That is literally what I'm talking about. Getting arrested, not getting killed. I don't know the extent of which people's liberties are being removed, but even like not being able to surf the fucking web in the way that you would want to normally would be cause for concern for someone like myself. Okay? CCP is literally what the Democratic Party is in the United States. They control ideals, big media, big tech, and flow of information. Looting BLM crackdown is not the same as cracking down peaceful Hong Kong protesters. Wait, what? Wait, what did this guy say? You're saying that the liberal Democratic Party has control over big media? Are you fucking stupid? If the Democratic Party in the United States had control over big media, why the fuck are there so many goddamn Nazis? Are you literally saying the Democratic Party are Nazis and love that there are Nazis on YouTube? Like, Nick Fuentes is a fucking verified checkmark on Twitter. How are you going to still sit here and be like, oh my God, big media is Democrat Party owned? Looting BLM crackdown is not the same as cracking down peaceful Hong Kong protesters. I did an entire video on this. Go watch the comparisons where I literally put together Hong Kong protests and how they are not peaceful. And by the way, there's no fucking problem with the fact that they're not peaceful versus this BLM protest at the same time. The very same people who said, you know, we got to liberate Hong Kong literally turned around and shit on Black Lives Matter protesters. It was the exact same. Bro, motherfuckers in Hong Kong were literally using bow and arrows at cops. What the fuck do you mean, bitch? The fuck do you mean peaceful protest? They were literally using bows and arrows at the cops. Motherfucker was pulling Far Cry Primal shit. And you're over here like, oh, they were peaceful. They were peaceful. Shut the fuck up.
同性婚姻啊，或者係性取向啊、性別認同啊等等議題，其實係同主流嘅泛民嘅立法會議員係有出入嘅，係咪咧？
嗱，事實上呢個問題就唔係我哋好常討論嘅問題嚟嘅嚇。咁即係之後講咧，其實因為呢個唔係我哋最關心嘅事情啊嚇。咁但係你話咧，即係如果真係去討論嘅話，咁我之後講咧，其實喺民主派裏邊咧，其實都幾多係受即係西方主流傳媒嘅即係影響啦，或者喺方面文化係幾左傾嘅。
Of course, the United States only gives a fuck about Hong Kong as far as they can like use it as a point of criticism or destabilization for China. By the way, I'm not fucking delusional when I talk about where I understand why people in Hong Kong do not want mainland China, do not want fucking mainland China's involvement in their personal affairs. I get why they don't want that shit. Just like the reason why America is backing Hong Kong or American foreign involvement is, of course, siding with the people of Hong Kong against the CCP is because they want to fucking destabilize. That's totally understandable. Okay? Don't be crazy.
香港人支持即係特朗普對華政策，同埋喺呢度本地佢哋呢個傾，好似咁講傾咗嘅政治嘅思想，中間有冇矛盾？
咁但係香港就比較奇怪嘅，就係香港咧我哋話咧就係香港就一直咧都係對左翼嘅思想係有批判嘅。咁係主要係因為咩咧？就係譬如我哋話咧。香港咧就係好重視本土嘅，咁我覺得拜登執政嘅時候，咁我覺得首先就應該會緩和中美之間嘅關係嘅，係啦，咁可能好放即。
This dude is fucking delusional if he thinks that Joe Biden is gonna be like pro-China or some shit. Oh my fucking lord! I want Hong Kong to unify with China because I think they can serve as an example of how to liberalize and reform the Chinese government. Yeah, I don't think that's happening, brother. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Hong Kong is the only money market for China. If China controlled it, it would tip the balance of power between firms and trade with the West. Wait, that's not even true. Wait, no, that's like true 30 years ago, but that's not true now. Like, that's literally... Hong Kong has outlived its usefulness for mainland China as a barrier between the Western world and China. What are you talking about? China has developed to a level where, like, China has developed to a level that is far surpassed Hong Kong in some ways. That's nuts to consider. What the fuck? It's still a huge external investment market for China. Now Shanghai is bigger, though. Yeah, they're still important. They're still significant, but it's no longer the same. Tensions between the USA and China de-escalated when Danny Way ollied over Great Wall of China. Pog. dude always has the funniest fucking takes, dude. You're so dumb, brother. Oh, Jesus Christ. Pog, dude.
Hassle.
Freaking Pogaroo, dude. Oppo to China, and when the West opened trade to Vietnam in the 90s, they boomed and standard of living increased. They associated Western trade with the USA. The funny thing is they still hate the French so much. My stepmom is Vietnamese. Oh, that makes sense. Again, this dude is also fucking like out of his mind if he thinks that Joe Biden is gonna like normalize relations with fucking China.
But not all pro-democracy activists in Hong Kong are taking a side. Joshua Wong is the most visible face of the
they are going to normalize, but like it's not going to be anything different.
In 2019, in the midst of the protests, Wong traveled to the United States to testify before Congress.
Beijing should not have it both ways, wrapping all the economic benefit of Hong Kong's standing in the world, while erosion of our freedom.
We spoke to Wong a few weeks before he was sentenced to 13.5 months in prison for an authorized
He's not live
assembly.
yet. What the fuck?
How would you describe
the
reaction within Hong Kong's pro-democracy?
All right, we're moving on. Biden's delivering remarks, folks.
The will of the people prevail. Our democracy pushed, tested.
Why?
Proved to be resilient, true, and strong. The Electoral College votes, which occurred today, reflect the fact that even in the face of a public health crisis unlike anything we've experienced in our lifetimes, the people voted. They voted in record numbers. More Americans voted this year than have ever voted in the history of the United States of America. Over 155 million Americans were determined to have their voices heard and their votes counted. In the start of this pandemic, this crisis, many were wondering how many Americans would actually vote at all. But those fears proved to be unfounded. We saw something very few predicted, even thought possible. The biggest voter turnout in the history of the United States of America. A number so big that this election now ranks as the clearest demonstration of the true will of the American people. One of the most amazing demonstrations of civic duty we've ever seen in our country. It should be celebrated, not attacked. More than 81 million of those votes were cast for me and Vice President-elect Harris. That, too, is a record. More than any ticket has received in the history of America. It represents a winning margin of more than 7 million votes over the number of votes cast for my opponent. Together, the Vice President-elect Harris and I earned 306 electoral votes, well exceeding the 270 electoral votes needed to secure victory. 306 electoral votes.
What do you want me to do? Someone's trying to steal my merch. I don't know what to do about it.
And Vice President Pence received when they won in 2016. Excuse me. At the time, President Trump called the Electoral College tally a landslide. By his own standards, these numbers represented a clear victory then, and I respectfully suggest they do so now. If anyone didn't know before, they know now. What beats deep in the hearts of the American people is this: democracy. The right to be heard, to have your vote counted, to choose leaders of this nation, to govern ourselves. In America, politicians don't take power. People grant power to them. The flame of democracy was lit in this nation a long time ago. And we now know nothing, not even a pandemic or an abuse of power, can extinguish that flame. And as the people kept it aflame, so too did courageous state and local officials and election workers. American democracy works because America makes it work at a local level. One of the extraordinary things we saw this year was that everyday Americans, our friends and our neighbors, often volunteers, Democrats, Republicans, independents, demonstrating absolute courage. They showed a deep and unwavering faith in and a commitment to the law. They did their duty in the face of a pandemic. And then they could not and would not give credence to what they knew was not true. They knew this election was overseen by them. It was honest, it was free, and it was fair. They saw it with their own eyes, and they wouldn't be bullied into saying anything different. It was truly remarkable, because so many of these patriotic Americans are subject to so much enormous political pressure, verbal abuse, and even threats of physical violence. While we all wish that our fellow Americans in these positions will always show such courage and commitment to free and fair elections, it is my sincere hope we never again see anyone subjected to the kind of threats and abuse we saw in this election. It's simply unconscionable. We owe these public servants a debt of gratitude. They didn't seek the spotlight. You know, and our democracy survived because of them, which is proof, once more, that it's everyday Americans infused with honor, character, and decency that is the heart of this nation. You know, in this election, their integrity was matched by their strength, independence, and the integrity of our judicial system. In America, when questions are raised about the legitimacy of any election, those questions are resolved through the legal processes. And that's precisely what happened here. The Trump campaign brought dozens and dozens and dozens of legal challenges to test the result. They were heard again and again. And each of the times they were heard, they were found to be without merit. Time and again, President Trump's lawyers presented arguments to state officials, state legislatures, state and federal courts, and ultimately to the United States Supreme Court twice. They were heard by more than 80 judges across this country, and in every case, no cause or evidence was found to reverse or question or dispute the results. A few states went for recounts. All the counts were confirmed. The results in Georgia were counted 3 times. Didn't change the outcome. The recount conducted in Wisconsin actually saw our margin grow. The margin we had in Michigan was 14 times the margin President Trump won that state by 4 years ago. Our margin in Pennsylvania was nearly twice the size of the Trump margin 4 years ago. And yet, none of this has stopped baseless claims about the legitimacy of the results. Even more stunning, 17 Republican attorneys general and 126 Republican members of the Congress actually signed on to a lawsuit filed by the state of Texas. That lawsuit asked the United States Supreme Court to reject the certified vote counts in Georgia,
now that he won,
Michigan,
say,
Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
This legal maneuver was an effort by elected officials and one group of states to try to get the Supreme Court to wipe out the votes of more than 20 million Americans in other states, and to hand the presidency to a candidate who lost the Electoral College, lost the popular vote, and lost each and every one of the states whose votes they were trying to reverse. It's a position so extreme, we've never seen it before. A position that refused to respect the will of the people, refused to respect the rule of law, and refused to honor our Constitution. Thankfully, a unanimous Supreme Court immediately and completely rejected this effort. The court sent a clear signal to President Trump that there would be no part of an unprecedented assault on our democracy. Every single avenue was made available to President Trump to contest the results. He took full advantage of each and every one of those avenues. President Trump was denied no course of action he wanted to take. He took his case to Republican governors and Republican Secretary of State, as he criticized many of them, to Republican state legislatures, to Republican-appointed judges at every level. And in a case decided after the Supreme Court's latest rejection, a judge appointed by President Trump wrote, quote, "This court has allowed the plaintiff the chance to make his case, and he has lost on the merits." End of quote.
I hope this
lost on the merits.
I hope this does fucking trigger Republicans, by the way.
Trump's own
Like, what do you mean?
cybersecurity
They're
chief,
fucking crazy.
overseeing our elections, said it was the most secure election in American history.
Not.
And summarily was let go. Let me say it again. His own cybersecurity chief, overseeing this election, said it was the most secure in American history. You know, respecting the will of the people is at the heart of our democracy, even when we find those results hard to accept. But that's the obligation of those who've taken on a sworn duty to uphold the Constitution. 4 years ago, when I was a sitting vice president of the United States, it was my responsibility to announce the tally of the Electoral College votes in the joint session of Congress that voted to elect Donald Trump. I did my job. And I'm pleased, but not surprised, by the number of my former Republican colleagues in the Senate who have acknowledged already the results of the Electoral College. I thank them, and I'm convinced we can work together for the good of the nation on many subjects. That's the duty owed to the people, to our Constitution, to our history. You know, in this battle for the soul of America, democracy prevailed. We, the people, voted. Faith in our institutions held. The integrity of our elections remains intact. And now it's time to turn the page, as we've done throughout our history, to unite, to heal. As I said in this campaign, I will be president for all Americans. I'll work just as hard for those of you who didn't vote for me as I will for those who did. There's urgent work in front of us. Getting this pandemic under control and getting the nation vaccinated against this virus. Delivering immediate economic help so badly needed by so many Americans who are hurting today. And then building our economy back better than it ever was. In doing so, we need to work together to give each other a chance to lower the temperature. And most of all, we need to stand in solidarity as fellow Americans, to see each other, our pains, our struggles, our hopes, and our dreams. We're a great nation. We're good people. We may come from different places, hold different beliefs, but we share in common a love for this country, a belief in its limitless possibilities. For we, the United States of America, has always set the example for the world for a peaceful transition of power. We'll do so again. I know the task before us won't be easy. It's tempered by the pain so many of us are feeling. Today, our nation passed a grim milestone. 300,000 deaths due to this COVID virus. My heart goes out to each of you in this dark winter of the pandemic. About to spend the holidays and the new year with a black hole in your hearts, without the ones you loved at your side. My heart goes out to all of you who have fallen in hard times through no fault of your own, unable to sleep at night, staring at the ceiling, and weighed down by the worry of what tomorrow will bring for you, and equally important for your family. But we've faced difficult times before in our history. I know we'll get through this one, but together. That's how we get through it, together. So as we start the hard work to be done, may this moment give us the strength to rebuild this house of ours upon a rock that can never be washed away. As in the prayer of St. Francis, for where there is discord, union. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is darkness, light. This is who we are as a nation. This is the America we love. And that is the America we're going to be. So thank you all. May God bless you. And may God protect our troops and all those who stand watch over our democracy. Thank you. Thanks for the congratulations. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was Dr. Biden hugging Joseph Robinette Biden. That's it. That's what we got. That's all we got for that. You think they're gonna get freaky in the Oval? I fucking hope they do, man. It's his
Hasanabi
God-given
is the most
right.
progressive president to ever be elected.
This Dr. Kiddo to you. Ever hear of a fucking lozenge? Yeah, whatever. He's like clearing his throat a lot. I don't know why, but it's whatever. Okay, holy shit, that was bad. Sorry about that. Yikes, dude. Fucking yikes. All right, back to Trump's fans in Hong Kong. The Donald Duck win is looking real scary right now. If you want spooky copium. Yeah, they're talking about how they're going to fucking take up arms against the government. And the reason why I think that's silly as shit is because you're not going to do that, okay? There's no, like, stochastic terrorism. You're not going to be able to do that.
There was a forceful and full condemnation by Joe Biden of this Republican resistance.
It's the first time this, like, the pussy has ever said anything of the like, which I'm glad he did, finally. It's not enough, but it's good. It's a good start. I hope Republicans get fucking mad at this. Somehow, someone, somewhere, has to fucking take action. Like, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? We're just like running around. We're running around acting like Republicans are totally normal and reasonable, I feel like. And it's gone for far too long. So I'm glad that Joe Biden finally fucking, said something. Anything, really.
January 20th. Lester?
Yeah, let's talk about that reality a bit with Hallie Jackson. President Trump hasn't received that memo on the reality of this. Still talking today and his supporters about finding a way to change the outcome of this election.
Yeah, listen, Lester, to use your analogy, he knows the memo has been written, but he is not abiding by what it says. The president is continuing to insist that there is a way to subvert the will of the voters, even though there simply is not. Here is what the strategy seems to be right now. Keep in mind that this is now a done deal, right? What we saw today in the Electoral College process has locked in Joe Biden's electoral win. What happens next occurs on January 6th. That is when these votes, these results go to Congress and they are formally received. It is possible that you could have some of the president's loyalists, and there is discussion about this, lodge this long shot, last ditch objection, basically. You'd need somebody from each chamber, the House and the Senate, to support that. That's hurdle one. But then you also would need both chambers of Congress, the House and the Senate, to vote to support that objection. That is not going to happen. The House is controlled by Democrats, of course, and they are certainly going to do nothing to try to back up the president's continued false claims of a stolen election, an election that President Trump lost. The thing to watch now, Lester, here in Washington and on Capitol Hill, is what do Republicans do? Up until this point, you've only seen a handful of Senate Republicans acknowledge Joe Biden as the president-elect. President-elect Biden is clear.
It's funny how this only works in one way, LMAO. Either you're pathetic or you are the Caitlyn of the left. What do you mean? What? CCP is literally with a Hong Kong.
Hey,
oh,
Hassan,
this is
I
the
love
fucking.
what you
Oh,
did
this
right.
guy is a pet
I
for
was
sure.
wondering if you
We're
could say
keeping
a
this
few words about
motherfucker.
the
Joe Biden
absolute
is the
insults of
president-elect.
politicians
It hasn't
and
been the
inability to
floodgates
pass a
opening or the
major
dam
stimulus
breaking.
package.
Pick your analogy
believe that
there,
we
but
need
you
a massive
have
one, or
seen
are you
some of
okay
that
with the
movement
small
start to
one?
happen. You may see more of that moving forward. No reaction from President Trump in the last couple of seconds here since President-elect Biden finished his speech. But given that it was, as Jeff put it, this takedown of President Trump, I'd be surprised if that holds too much longer. Lester.
Hallie, thanks. And Jeff, very quickly, was there growing concern within the Biden camp that the president's assaults on the legitimacy of this election was beginning to erode, beginning to have some undesirable effects?
There was, and even as Joe Biden by now has announced more than half of his cabinet designates and has tried to push forward with his own agenda, he was all too aware of the resistance that he was encountering from President Trump's supporters. There was, of course, that huge rally in Washington, D.C. just over the weekend. And so, yeah, it became increasingly clear that the president-elect had to confront it head on, and that's precisely what he did tonight, Lester.
All right, Jeff Bennett and Hallie Jackson, thank you for your coverage. We're going to return you now to regular programming. We'll have more on all of today's developments on your late local news and on NBCNews.com. I'm Lester Holt, NBC News. Have a good evening, everyone.
MSNBC is currently interviewing a Michigan elector who wore a bulletproof vest to cast their vote today. This is a direct result of what Trump is whipping up. See also racist paramilitaries menacing the streets of D.C. Does Biden still think he can be a uniter and try to be the president of all Americans after he's seen 70 million Americans will never accept him? I just don't know what the fuck he's doing, okay? I don't know
This episode
what the fuck he's doing. I don't know why he's doing it. I think it's fucking silly as shit that he's like acting like there is an America that you can unite. Heard you joined OTK. I did not join OTK. What the fuck? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know what the fuck's going on. You can unite America on class boundaries. There are divisions that transcend beyond the divisions that we currently look at, the divisions that we currently hold on to. Okay? You can unite America against the politician class. Okay? You can unite America by saying, look, these Republicans, they don't fucking give a shit about you. Like, they don't. Right? But you can't unite America by saying, like, you know, we got Republicans, we got Democrats, it doesn't matter. Like, come on, let's get together and sing fucking Kumbaya. Like, low-key, you should join OTK and that be their news guy. They pull huge fucking numbers. No, I'm good, man. Thank you. I love them, though.
Cheeks.
They're great. Oh, y'all voted a dumbass in office. Congrats. I mean, most fucking world leaders are just dumbasses.
Movement to the U.S. election results.
Since the protests in Hong Kong in 2019, Hong Kongers realized how U.S. and the Western world foreign policy towards Beijing and Hong Kong really affects a lot of our protest movement in the local community. But no matter what happened, we still hope to emphasize that supporting Hong Kong is not the matter of left or right, it's the matter of right or wrong.
In the last few years, there have been bipartisan proposals regarding Hong Kong issues. But Hong Kong's pro-democracy movement seems to have credited President Donald Trump for much of those issues. Did you think that was a fair thing to do?
Frankly speaking, compare the reaction or the approach of the US administration during Umbrella Movement in 2014 under the leadership of President Obama. We realized how the existing administration put more and more attention to Hong Kong.
You've been criticized for not taking a sharp position when it comes to the who should be the next U.S. president. Why do you think people say things about you like that?
I don't think there's a lot of criticism of I don't feel any concrete pressure to force me to take side in the US presidential election. Because even no matter Trump supporters or the haters of Trump in Hong Kong also realize that activists or politicians that could reach the global community would always need to make friends with both sides.
Your position sounds very even-handed to me. Do you think it represents most people within Hong Kong's pro-democracy movement?
Quite a number of Hong Kongers wish Trump could be elected again. I think apart from the expectation on Trump is also the good impression towards Secretary Pompeo.
How would you respond to criticism that the protesters last year supported Trump?
Far-right netizens might criticize me interact with founder of Black Lives Matter. For far-left activists might criticize me shake hands with Republican senators. It's not easy to satisfy all people's demand or expectation. But instead of criticizing
these dudes are CISs and want to return to British colonialism, I'm gonna keep it at 100. When you fucking find yourself shaking hands with Marco Rubio about liberating Hong Kong, it's a little difficult for me to be like, oh yeah, you must be a guy who has honest intentions. Sorry, that's just the fucking truth. Doesn't matter if it's a fucking Turkish dude that's doing it, that's like against Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Doesn't matter who the fuck you are or what part of the country, what country you're coming from. That's some real Juan Guaido shit, okay? Sorry.
Hassan, I know you're gonna ignore this message, so chat spam bad streamer.
What? No, well, I already saw it. My loved ones in Hong Kong lost so much this year, their youth and home, and sometimes their life. Too much information, but thank you. I'm not a bad